Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the West Northamptonshire series, one of the two districts that make up the county of Northamptonshire. With 166 parishes, there's a lot to get through. Let's cross another one off. Welcome back to West Northamptonshire yet again, and today we find ourselves in a place that's quite elongated from the northwest to the southeast, but it's not a linear walk. This, you can walk around this in a circle if you know where all the footpaths are, and thankfully I do. We're in a place that begins with a Y, and it's called Yelvertoft. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like, and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Yelvertoft is a pretty and welcoming little village in West Northamptonshire, located close to Catthorpe Interchange, where the M1 meets the M6. The village was recorded in the Domesday Book, and its name means curtilage of Geldfrith. It's a linear settlement, and the main road, the High Street, follows the course of an ancient portway. Yelvertoft has maintained a more independent rural character compared to other villages in the region, such as Crick, because no major transport routes pass through it. The Leicester branch of the Grand Union Canal, one of the last contour-following canals, takes a circuitous route through and around the parish boundaries. Sites of historical interest include a tomb in the church, a charity school building constructed in 1792, and a house linked to both Oliver Cromwell and the Battle of Naseby. There was also a mid-air collision between two aircraft over the village during World War II, and you can see the tail fin of one of the planes in today's picture bit. According to figures obtained at the 2001 census, there were 356 houses in Yelvertoft, although I'm wagering that figure is now higher, as we did come across some new builds. In short, it's a fun one, this. Let's see what I found for you all. We begin on Elkington Lane. Straight away we've got something of historical importance to talk about. You see, Elkington Lane used to have a different name. Originally, it was called Tarry's Lane. In 1967, extensive roadworks raised the road level by 18 inches at its lowest point, which is by number 38, in order to combat habitual flooding. It also virtually doubled the width of the street. Elkington Lane, of course, leads to Elkington. Elkington, Lilbourne and Yelvertoft all share close connections. I wonder if this egg stall gets visitors from all three. Regardless, we decided to try it out. I'm not saying my wife is picky when it comes to choosing eggs, but we could be here a while. Are you alright in there?
Yeah, I was going to do something then, but I thought better of it.
Well, what were you going to do? This will be interesting. I'm going to keep the camera on you because I have no idea what you're on about.
There we go.
What were you going to do?
I'm not going to, it's rude.
Oh, okay. All right. There are two streams of note here, both of which join this brook. This is called Yelvertoft Brook locally, although historically it had a different name. On old maps, it was called Coton Brook. Whatever the case now, after walking up Tarry's End, there's a bridge over it which will take us to Ashwells Lane and on to another residential area. Check out this gorgeous 3-storey house on Ashwells Lane. I'm almost certain this would have been something more than just a house in the past, but there were no clues as to what. Nikki suggested including these lampposts. It's not the first time I have. The seasoned viewer may be able to remember all the way back to Eton in the East Riding. They're certainly unusual. If I didn't know better, I would say it's going to rain in a minute, which is...
We're going to be welcome.
it's very much needed after these last couple of days. It is warm still. Scorchio. But yeah. If it does rain, you won't hear any complaints from me today. Here we have Yelvertoft's primary school, built in 1876. This has something of interest in its grounds, called a wind chime garden, in which you'll find the school's call bell. Originally it was mounted within a spire turret on the roof, but was taken down due to health and safety fears. It no longer has its clapper, but it's great that it's been preserved. Religious buildings, and Yelvertoft has 3 churches, 1 Anglican, 1 Congregational and 1 Roman Catholic. This is the latter of those, and it's somewhat hidden away by trees on the high street. Bang in the centre of the village is the War Memorial, an octagonal sectioned column with a lantern depicting the crucifixion, topped by a 4-armed cross. This was refurbished in 2013. Nikki's testing the bench out.
So are you.
I am, yeah, but, you know, Nikki's testing the bench out, aren't you?
Yeah, it's very muggy, and we just really now need a massive rain shower. I mean, the wind, there's a breeze coming through, which is blessed relief. We needed to chuck it down. Come on, weather, don't let me down now.
The parish notice board comes next, and Nikki did the honours as usual. This is the last we'll see of her in this episode. For the rest, I'm on my own. On the corner of Elkington Lane, we've got a beautiful patch of flowers. The plaque in the centre of these tells us they were planted for the Golden Jubilee. Haven't they been well maintained? That building was interesting. It says above its door, Workshop. Yelvertoft's History Group website mentions an old blacksmith shop on it. Was this it, guys? Let me know. Here's the Independent Chapel. This has Sunday services and a midweek Bible study held most Wednesdays. A recent addition to the church is a new handrail for those with mobility issues. Next we have Squisito, an accredited farmers market producer. This was voted the winner of the BBC's Midlands Best Street Food and the Midlands Best Deli 2016. Basically, they love food. Now, I know we have mentioned a few times about how there are some characterful properties in Northamptonshire. Well, I like it when there are characterful businesses as well, and certainly here at this butcher's there's a bit of character. Look at this. We've got a ring here for tying your dog up. Dog parking. Free bones available. Ask the butcher. Marvellous. Let's talk buses next. Now the lights are on, but there's nobody home here because these bus stops currently have no services that stop at them. Owning a car in Yelvertoft is almost a necessity. Open from Tuesdays to Sundays, Yelvertoft's pub is the Nightly Arms. According to What Pub, this has 2 bars with wooden beams and traditional fireplaces, and it even has a Skittles table. On the wall, we've got a green plaque telling us that Yelvertoft was recorded in the Domesday Book. That it was. We've already mentioned what it used to be called too. So now we've reached the village's easternmost point, and here we have a sundial above the door of this house here. I'm just going to go across and have a look at it. There's something on the wall here too. In fact, there's 2 things on the wall. There's the sundial. That looks quite nice. This is apparently the Yelvertoft Educational Charity at the reading room, and on the wall here we have the Yelvertoft Reading Room, former charity school established 1711. That's what this building is, and it's beautiful. Over the road we have a small green on which stands a village water pump dating from 1900. This was renovated in the year 2000. Right next to this is Yelvertoft's village sign. Depicted on this we have the canal and one of the bridges over it, and also the church, which we're walking towards. Between the two is the manor, a 7-bed house last on the market for in excess of £2 million. None other than Oliver Cromwell stayed here in 1645 on the eve of the Battle of Naseby. Speaking of the battle, it's theorised that Cromwell's soldiers sharpened their swords using the sedilia at All Saints' Church, and here we are at its entrance. Its most intriguing feature is in the chancel, which has an elaborate tomb dating to the 15th century. Within the tomb lies an alabaster effigy of John Dickson, who served as rector from 1439 to 1445. Now, I have just seen some people walking down the path here from the church, and it looks like it's open. So, there's a service on. I'm not going in if there's a service on. That's a bit of a shame. I would like to have a look around in there, but never mind. At least we've got some good exterior shots of the church, and it's quite a nice church. It's definitely on a hill. I've just had to walk up a hill to get to this. So the one advantage to that, of course, is if you go up a hill you've got to come down it. So let's go around this side of the church, find the way down and carry on walking. Hopefully there aren't any more hills on this route. Exiting the churchyard, we're now heading up this footpath, which turns this route into something of a circular walk, although you can't get back to Elkington Lane without using the high street again. And we're back to the high street. Fun fact for you, if you walk the length of the road from one end to the other, it measures an impressive 3/4 of a mile. It's a lengthy village. Our last act on the main walk is to take in this impressive 3-storey building. This is the old posting house, and it towers above the road, close to the junction with Elkington Lane. Okay, we're pretty much back to the beginning, opposite Elkington road or lane, whichever it is, can't remember. And there are two things we haven't seen here in Yelvertoft. One of them is Yelvertoft Marina, which we can't access because it's all private. The only way to really get to it is to walk to it on bridleways, but it's such a long way out of the village that we won't be doing that. That'll come in the picture bit in a moment. The other thing is the village hall, which is something we've yet to see, but thankfully that is on my route towards my next village, which is one of those two, just to let you know. Let's see if you can guess which one it is before it comes out next time. Picture bit time. And here we are at the village hall to finish off the parish of Yelvertoft. It's not just the village hall, there is a little play area here. There's a hard surface games area, there's a skate park at the back there, there's a little playground, and over here there's a playing field. I'll just keep walking with me while I have a look at this. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to expect, to be quite honest with you. There we go, there's a playing field. That's a nursery you can hear on the left. I'm not going to pan the camera around towards that because there are children there. And there you have it. There's a cricket pitch over there as well. So Yelvertoft really does have it all. It's one of those places that's not short of anything, really. So yeah, brilliant. Time for me to move on to my next one here in West Northamptonshire, which is not too far away. You've already seen the options as to which one it's going to be on that sign earlier. Wonder if you've guessed which one it's going to be. I'm on my way there now, and that will be the last one of this trip into Northamptonshire. But of course I will be back again at some point, like I promised you last time. Hopefully I'm not going to leave it as long as I did last time, because I like Northamptonshire. I'll be honest with you, it's one of those places which is it's welcoming. It's very welcoming, and it's one of those places that makes you feel like you want to stay a bit longer, if you know what I mean. If by that, it's it has that sort of attraction, I think. So yeah, there you go. That's Yelvertoft. Beautiful place, really is. Love it. This has been the parish of Yelvertoft, and I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.